to get to be November already. It's crazy. So the first thing I have to do is read the governor's declaration, which I should have memorized by now, but I don't. So here goes. As chair of the Historic District Commission, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by the governor as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and in accordance with the governor's emergency order number 12, pursuant to Executive Order 2020-04, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. Please note that there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting, which was authorized pursuant to the governor's emergency order. However, in accordance with the emergency order, I am confirming that we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone with additional access possibilities by video or other electronic means. We are utilizing Zoom for this electronic meeting. All members of the commission have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if necessary, participate in this meeting through dialing the phone number or clicking on the website address provided on the posted meeting agenda on the town's website, and I also put the agenda at the post office. We're providing public notice of the necessary information for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing the meeting, including how to access the meeting using Zoom or telephonically. Instructions have also been provided. Can somebody mute, please? Can you guys mute yourselves for just a second? Because I can hear something in the background. Thank you. Instructions have also been provided on the website of the commission at kingston.newhampshire.org and posted at the post office, providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem, please call 603-475-3678 for help. During the meeting, if the public is unable to access the meeting, in the event the public is unable to access the meeting will be adjourned and rescheduled. Please note that all votes that are taken during this meeting shall be done by roll call vote. Let's start the meeting by taking roll call attendance. When each member states their presence, please also state whether there is anyone in the room with you during this meeting, which is required under the right to know law. Susan Prescott, present, and I am alone in the room.
Glenn Koppelman.
Virginia Moore. Oh, sorry, Glenn.
Go ahead, Virginia.
Virginia Morris, present, alone in the room.
Glenn Koppelman, present and alone in my room here.
Ellie Alessio, present and alone in my home.
Madeline Willett, present and alone.
Excellent, thank you. I haven't heard from Stanley. I did get an email from Ralph sending his best wishes, hoping that we get in, that we can. Does everyone else hear that beeping?
Oh, yes, yes. It's the phone access, folks.
Okay. And they don't have any means of muting? Do they have any means of muting?
They do. There is a mute button on their phones. There is.
Okay. The people who are, I'm sorry, there's a lot of noise being generated by the phone 7190. If you could mute for just a little while, that would be really helpful because there's a lot of noise interrupting the meeting.
There's a second phone on there, Susan. It ends at 8162.
Yes, that one was muted and then it unmuted again. So,
is it muted now? Can you hear me?
As a general rule of etiquette on Zoom, if you would mute yourselves when you're not speaking, that would be very helpful.
So phone number 8162, I can mute you if you want me to, or you can mute yourself.
Yes, could you do that? Thank you.
Carol, Carol, are you able to have video and sound on your computer right now?
I think so. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes. So I think you're having some echoing problems because you have a phone and your computer with
All right,
sound.
I'll shut the phone off. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Sorry about
So
that.
that's all right. It's not a problem. We're all learning this Zoom thing. So I did the governor's declaration. Okay. Critical correspondence. I have none. Okay.
Perfect.
Does anyone else have any?
No.
Very quiet this month. Now on to the minutes, the October 13th, 2020 minutes. Does anyone have any corrections or anything to add or take away?
I move that be adopted as presented.
Second,
Can you we do a roll call vote now. So all in favor, Susan Prescott, aye.
Virginia Morse, aye.
Glenn Koppelman, aye.
Ellie Alessio, aye.
Madeline Willett, aye.
Okay, then the minutes have been approved and that is done. Okay, so next up is town board updates. Planning board update?
Nothing pertaining to historic district at planning board. Let's see. The next one is CIP, Capital Improvement Program, and that is still in the early stages. We're a bit behind this year, but affected by some of the COVID issues and trying to get some responses from town departments. But we should be ready to meet as a committee late this month, which puts us about a month or so behind. But hopefully we'll be able to speed things along and play catch up and be done with the CIP by sometime in December, which is our goal, so that we can get the information to the budget committee and to the select board, because it is an advisory document for those two bodies.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. What about the selectmen?
Tax rates going down. You should have your bills. If you didn't get them today, you'll get them with Thursday, but they went down over $1.
Nice.
Today. So that's a nice little Christmas break for us. And it was due to, because we were of COVID, of course, we didn't have as many activities, although we paid in other areas that we had expenses that we wouldn't normally. And the school also returned some monies this year, which was very helpful. So that's always good news to hear that the tax bill went down. We have been in touch with Mr. Chinberg for moving forward on the seminary. We're just waiting for his 7090 application to come in, and we can hopefully finalize that soon enough. And I might as well just jump in on the zoning board. We don't have anything relative to the historic district coming into play at Thursday's hearing.
Thank you very much. And what about the Heritage Commission?
I was not able to attend that meeting, but I am always sent the minutes, and I would say that they're moving forward quite well on all the things I reported on last month. The cemetery in the Plains project, a whole bunch of things that they have in place. They're moving forward to. I don't know, Susan, when you wanted to talk about. No, my agenda's not right here, but they asked for a date for us to do a joint meeting. Maybe we could do that later.
Yes, sure. I even though you emailed me and asked me to put it on the agenda, I did not. So it's handwritten in my agenda as number 4 after we talk to Jerry. Okay. So we'll talk about the joint meeting after as number 4. Okay.
Yes, very good.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank
That's
you.
all.
So we're going to move right into the applications. We have Carol Carboni up first. I emailed out all of the information that I had received from Carol, who's been quite delightful to work with, I have to say. So Carol, do you want to start it up?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Oh, okay. All right. So I've in the process of installing a pellet stove. I've had 3 contractors out here, and I've also had the fire department out here. And where the pipe would come out of. So there's a picture of the side of the house. And what they told me that I would need to do is I have to put it through the small roof that goes over the knockout window, and it would continue up to the top of the house, right over to the top of the house. And then I also sent you a picture of a standard pipe. We have 2 other owners here in the condo. I provided a letter where they're in agreement that I can do that. And I think that was it.
The only other thing that I was asking you about, I think, and you thought you could paint it white, maybe it wouldn't stand out as much.
Yes, and I did leave a message for the contractor that's going to do it today, and he didn't get back to me. But I think I've been told they have a heat paint that we could put on, so that won't be an issue if he can do it. If he can do it, I prefer that because at some point we're going to paint that side of the house. So
Yeah, and I think that it would really almost disappear when you do that.
Yep.
I think this is the first pellet stove chimney pipe. I think I told you that's come
Right.
across. But once you start noticing them around town, you see them all over the place. So
I know I took a couple pictures I sent you earlier. Of a couple in the historic district. I just wasn't sure. I read the regs, and I wasn't sure if I really needed to come before you, but I just figured it would be best.
I think it's best too. I think probably since it does change the appearance of your historic home, that it's a good thing to come before us. So does anyone have any questions for Carol?
I remember seeing 3 different positions, or am I not remembering that correctly?
No, I had 3, and actually the one that I'm going with now isn't my first choice. I wanted to come out through the bottom of the window to the side of the house so that you really couldn't see the pipe at all. But looking at the fire codes, and like I said, I've had 3 different contractors out here. I'm being told that this is really my only option.
Which one? Option 1, 2, or 3?
It's what I sent yesterday. It's
actually option 4, which just came recently.
Oh, I see. Okay. Never mind.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I sent those out to the board as soon as they came in to me. So,
So a question, Carol, it sounds to me as if you've determined that an option to keep it completely inside the building and come through the roof like a normal chimney would be is not something that you plan to do. In other words, you want to run this pipe on the outside of the building.
Well, it's going to go through the roof over the window. You see the knockout window, so it will come out in between the first and the second floor, and will continue up the side of the house,
right
above the roof.
I think what Glenn was asking was it's not going to come. It's not going to run up through the second floor in living space up through the roof.
No, we looked at that also, and that really wasn't an option because I had a closet in my kitchen. I was kind of hoping to do that, and it really wasn't.
Okay. And the fire department agrees that this is the best option as far as safety?
I had the fire department actually came out here twice because I was going to do a wood stove, but that would have required knocking out the window and building a chimney. So what will happen is the installer will come in and then the fire department will come back out and make sure it meets all the fire codes after it's installed.
Do they get a list of the fire codes before they do the installation to make sure?
Well, they have to go by the manufacturer's regulations and certain regulations. It has to be so far away from a window. And
I know, but all I'm suggesting to you is that you coordinate with the fire department and the town regs, because you don't want your installer to put in what they think they can do and then have the fire chief come in afterwards and say, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, no. And I had originally had somebody that was going to put it in before, and they did contact. Is it Brian Gallant?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
Gallant, I think.
So yeah, they may have to take out a permit before they install it, but the fire department will be contacted.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's-
Does anyone else have anything to ask Carol?
Well, my perspective is, if she put in a fireplace and, or a wood stove, excuse me, a wood stove, and needed a full chimney, lots of our homes had chimneys, and we accepted fireplaces and wood stoves. It's a big sigh to say, okay, this is a stovepipe rather than a full chimney. But I can't see that we can possibly say, no, you can't do that, is what I'm saying. And so if she paints it white and makes it as inconspicuous as possible, meeting fire codes and, of course, what the pellet stove company says has to be done for safety. So as Ellie said, that's a coordinated effort. I think that's probably the best she can do to use the pellet stove for some heat in her home. It's a tough
My very
decision.
cold home.
I don't really like a pipe going up the side of the house,
Mhm.
but and you're right, it's the first one we've done. But I can't see an alternative to the way it has been presented, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, there are alternatives, but it would be more complex. It would probably be more costly, but it would be more historically correct with regard to the property and with regard to the district. So, I mean, it's a balancing act. And I'm not sure that I personally can support an exterior pipe on a historic home. So I'm going to have to weigh this carefully before I cast my vote.
Can I just say that the house across the street has a pipe coming out? And there's also another home in the historic district that has a pipe coming out, and I've sent those pictures.
Yes, Carol, the difference I think between your design and those is that those pipes seem to be coming right out the roof the way that a stovepipe or a chimney would. And this one is coming out the top of a window and running up the side of the building. So that I think that's the difference, in my opinion. I mean, yes, there's still a stainless steel pipe.
Can I
Yeah,
ask a question?
I would view it differently, just to support that, Susan. I mean, I would view it differently if it were going up through the house and coming through the roof like a normal chimney would. I wouldn't have nearly as much of an issue with it personally if it were that way.
Glenn, do you have any experience with a different way to do that?
No, you either put it through the sidewall and run it up just like this proposal is, or you put it up through the interior. I mean, those are the options.
So I'm wondering, Carol, why would they not allow that to go up through the interior?
There's some type of fire codes, I guess, that would have to be met, or because I looked at that too. I have a closet in my kitchen, and I thought about just putting it right up there, right up through, and up to the second floor. And they said that really wasn't a good idea.
The fire department said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously there are safety issues that make that prohibitive. And
Yeah.
the cost of a fireplace and a chimney and a fireplace is another huge cost factor here.
Yeah.
So I think we have to be sensitive to that.
Well,
as long as it gets painted, I mean, it's if it gets painted white, as long as we can do that, that will make it less obvious and it will blend in more with the area, which is great.
Can I ask a question? I think I have to apologize. I do not have any pictures of this. If there's any way we could post a picture so we could look. I was just looking through my minutes. We had so many applications come in with so many different details. I missed out on this one.
Well, some came in this afternoon, Maddie, and I didn't get to see those either.
Okay.
Yeah, those ones were from Jerry.
That I
Oh,
have.
okay, sorry, yep.
All right, let me do this for a second. No, that's not the one. All right, you're gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna try to forward it to Maddie again, okay? Let's see. That's not the one. If somebody can find it faster than me and forward it to Maddie, that would be, to Madeline, that would be good, okay? So I'm not finding it either right yet.
Maddie's on this email. That's
Yeah,
I know, I just checked my
Today at
junk folder.
11
I don't see it.
okay.
I think Madeline's been having trouble getting email from HTC because she didn't get the agenda either. So,
Oh, no, I did. I got it.
okay.
That I had.
All right, let me see.
I just forwarded it to you, Madeline.
Great. I got something.
Yep, I've got it.
Okay.
Okay. So this says option 1, pipe will come out side window above small roof line and will have outlet. Come out.
No, there
Oh,
was
it's not-
another, there was
There was,
another
there was
email.
another one.
Oh, and there's, okay, I see
There's
it.
one
keeps
from this
continuing down.
morning. There is one from this morning. I have that. I can see that.
And it only has one. The first email that came a day or so ago, maybe, had 3
Yes.
options, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was a recent
And
email.
there was
that
one
had-
that came in, I got it about 11 o'clock this morning, and I could see that.
Really, that long? Because I sent it out on Monday, November 9th at 1:45 p.m. So it's like holding. I think
Where-
it's holding
Hmm.
and doing it really late. I don't like this website.
Believe me, we're gonna have options for you for the town meeting in March.
Oh, good. Okay.
Unless we
right.
solve it beforehand. It's been a real issue for many departments. We are not
Okay.
alone on this.
So
Madeline,
on this one-
Madeline, I'm sending you the one that I'm looking at, the most recent. I had asked Carol to give me a more complete application, is what I had asked her to do, which she did.
Okay.
So I'm sending you what I'm using with the picture of where it's coming out of the house and the picture of the stovepipe. The picture of the stovepipe that Carol attached is just I think she attached it just for us to see the style of it, because it won't be coming out of a slanted roof the way that it's pictured in this.
Right,
So-
the contractor sent me that. But if you're looking at the side of the house, I have the letter A right over the roof. That's where the
Yep.
pipes come out. And then B is where it would end. And if you notice, if you look to the right side, there are pipes going to the right side.
Right, and you get all the electrical boxes there, and I know they didn't have those a couple hundred years ago
Right.
either.
Right.
So I
Yes,
think we have to be reasonable.
I do too. So, Madeline, have you had a chance to look at it?
The only one I have is the
How about
old one.
How about if I try to share my screen? I have it
Oh, that
up.
would be great.
Well, let me see if this will work.
Madeline, probably because I sent you through the HTC website.
Yeah.
You'll
It'll
get it
send
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Can
Thank you, Glenn. That's perfect.
All right.
So where the A is where the pipe will come out and it will
Okay.
go up the second floor and exit over the roof.
I thought this one looked better than the other 3, if you want to know the truth.
Okay.
That was just my opinion.
Now, will it come out at an angle and go up over the roof that way, or is it going to puncture the roof line?
They're gonna have to puncture the roof line.
So B will actually puncture that overhang.
I think they're puncturing at A.
Oh, yeah,
Puncturing
puncturing at A. I don't think they're puncturing the roof line at B, but I can't be 100% on that. I'm not sure, to be honest.
It's
And I
probably-
imagine there will be some sort of a bracket there as well. Every one of these that I've seen has had some sort of a bracket attached to keep it from moving.
Like the electrical panel next to it.
Correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically, if it gets painted white, it will look similar to the pipe, like your electrical panel. You'll have another pipe just coming out of your bay window there.
Right,
Yep.
right, yeah.
Right.
Do we have any more questions?
I'm going to
For Carol?
unshare this now if,
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you for that.
yep.
So Carol, I've written on here so that you will paint it white with the heat paint,
Yeah,
the heat resistant paint?
yeah.
Okay. Do I have any motions or any other comments or questions?
Well, it's obviously not our first choice, but you obviously need heat. And by painting it white, it makes it less obtrusive. There's no way you can box it in on the outside so it would look like a faux chimney?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Like some of the pipes are boxed in. They've actually put siding around them. They've done faux brick to make it look like it's a chimney, even though it's on the external and it's just a pipe. They've boxed them in to kind of hide the fact that it is a pipe.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you because I'm not sure.
I think we should leave that to Carol to discuss with the contractor and the building inspector, because there may be fire safety issues in boxing in that pipe that we're not aware of. I mean, they might have been, I don't know. I guess I'm uncomfortable making it even more restricted because it's a fire source. And I'm concerned about putting wood around a pipe as it goes up out of the house. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a safety issue to me to do that, but.
Ellie, we have approved wood stove or fireplace, I can't remember, pipes that are boxed in like a wooden chimney. They line it so that the heat isn't an issue. And then they clapboard around it, or Maddie said faux brick. They can do that. I'm thinking that might be more show up and look like more of a design element on the house than a pipe painted white.
Yeah, but then you look to the right of that and you see those electrical boxes. There's nothing aesthetic about any of that work on the outside of the building.
Right.
So,
Right. And so I'm saying I think it might add a characteristic to the house to box it in that didn't fit with the house. I almost think just seeing the plain old pipe painted white would almost camouflage it against the background, Maddie, rather than boxing it in, which would draw your eye to the box.
That's
I'm working on it in my mind. It can
Yeah.
be done safely, but I'm thinking, what will we notice the least?
Right.
It's practical. It needs to be done to make the pellet stove work. What will make the least impact on the appearance of the house?
so do you want a motion at this point, Madam Chairman?
I would like that.
Okay, I move that we approve the application for 176 Main Street for Carol Carboni to install a pellet stove chimney pipe per picture number 4, and ask that it be painted white with heat resistant paint so that the pipe blends into the building.
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote. Susan Prescott, aye.
Virginia Morris, aye.
Glenn
Ellie
Koppelman,
Alessio.
no.
Okay, Ellie Alessio, aye.
Madeline Willett, Aye.
The motion passes. Virginia, are you going to be doing certificates of approval still, or do you want me to take that over at some point?
I'll continue to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
you can take it over at some point, but I'll do
Okay.
this one.
All right. All right. Thank you. And I'm sure that you wrote down that it must be painted white with
did.
heat tape. Okay.
I
Perfect.
did.
Carol, do you have any more questions?
So do I need a certificate from you, or what is the process?
Carol, as soon as I can, if I'm awake tonight or first thing tomorrow, I will do a certificate of approval. I'll mail one to you.
Okay,
I'll mail one or deliver one into the selectman's office, which goes in your property owners folder. And so when you go to the building inspector to do your work, he'll probably refer you to the fire department, but that certificate will be there so that you can take your next step.
okay.
So that'll be coming very soon.
Can I give you my PO box number? I don't get mail at the house.
Oh, yes, please do.
It's PO Box 411 in Kingston.
I'm sorry, 411?
411?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very good. Okay, I will do that.
And Carol, just to remind you, when you get the certificate of approval, that the exact design that you've been approved for must be done. Otherwise, your certificate of approval is voided. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Great. Thank you, Carol.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
Right.
Good night.
Okay, moving on, we have Karen Lepan. Hi, Karen. Hi. Karen, unmute yourself.
She's there somewhere. I saw her picture.
She is, but she's muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
hi.
Karen, you look
Hello.
familiar. Karen, you look familiar. I think I used to go to the gym with you.
No, probably at Rite
No?
Aid. I used to work there in the pharmacy.
Okay, all right. It's good to see you. Karen and Dan live at 3 Chase Street. They have a cape there that they would like to replace the wood clapboards with vinyl siding. So did everyone get the information that I emailed out?
Yes.
Okay. And the
So
pictures
that's good news, right?
yes. And the pictures that Karen sent me as well, the before pictures of what the condition of the siding was on the house. You got both of those pictures?
Yes.
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 Okay, good. Do we have any, Karen, do you want to introduce yourself and talk a little bit?
Well, I'm Karen Lepan, and I live over in Chase Street. I know a lot of you that I can see here. I have 3 boys that went through the school system. One is going to be graduating this year. And I formerly worked at Rite Aid, and now I'm working at Exeter Hospital.
Great. So Karen's the siding on her house, there was a lot of water damage from what I understand, and that was quite a bit of rot. So they are they're desperately needing to get that all taken care of before the winter comes in. So does anyone have any questions for Karen?
You know me, I usually go back and look in my folder to see what it used to look like when Randy Keyser took pictures. He only did Main Street. He did not do buildings off the side streets, and Chase Street is just around the corner, but it's still historic district. But I did go back to the Stafford Rockingham Regional Council survey of many years ago. And they did survey this house. And I want you to know, of all the houses that I read about, this had the least information. So the description is 1.5-story modern cape, irregular bays, clapboard, center entry with small gable roof porch, shutters, gable roof. And I noticed that they were beginning to take the siding off the house because I ride my bicycle by that way, right, Karen? And so I was watching because I thought we would get an application to put the siding on. And always when we consider vinyl siding, we're always looking at trim. What are the designing characteristics and features of a house that say it is a particular period? As far as I can tell from the picture in my long ago preservation project assessment and what I saw, I don't know, maybe even 6 weeks ago, the trim is the simplest possible trim you could have. Gabling, fascia boards, I'll say, in the peak, around the windows. There was very little in the way of what we'd consider design elements. Just about the simplest, flattest facing around any door or window. There is a small, I guess you'd call it, what do I want to say? A little gable roof porch. And that's also very simple as a triangular piece at the top. Not an awful lot of trim that is designed specific to a particular style of home.
Do we know what year that house was built?
I can tell you just a minute. I have 1951.
Oh, I have
Karen.
late 60s.
Okay. It says circa 1951.
Oh.
So even though it's in the historic district, it's a more more contemporary type of structure.
Yes.
And done with very basic elements, very little trim attention.
Right. So is the plan, Karen, to just replace the siding or also to work on the trim elements?
Everything's gonna be done with vinyl siding. Original. It's gonna stay original. There's no design to the trim or anything. It's gonna be the same except vinyl.
Well,
So
I'm assuming the trim right now, the trim is wood, I assume.
Correct.
Okay, so that'll get covered with vinyl or replaced with vinyl or?
Yeah, it'll be replaced.
Okay.
Karen had mentioned that the trim was extremely rotted, so it had to be removed. It couldn't be covered with or wrapped with vinyl or metal.
So if it's going to be replaced, it probably would be replaced with solid PVC, something like the AZEK product or something like that. Or do we know?
I'm not sure. What's it got to be replaced?
Say that question again.
Can you repeat the question?
If the wooden trim is going to be replaced, will it be replaced with solid PVC dimensional lumber, like a product called AZEK or something like that?
Yes.
My husband said yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I would have assumed that because that would
Yeah.
make the most sense, but just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
A question I have is, Karen, what does the vinyl siding look like?
Yes, I have I'm not
Oh,
sure if you
good.
can see this, but
It's the same as what was on the house.
it's going to be a brick red. I'm not
That one.
sure
Same as it was.
if you could see that.
Yeah, we can.
Looks like it's going to be a standard 4-inch exposure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same as it was on there.
One of the things I'm interested in, Karen, is there are lots of different, I'll say, textures that they have for vinyl siding now. Some kind of looks grooved like real wood. Some's very, very plain and flat. Is there any texture to the vinyl siding?
Very little. It looks, flat with like a few lines, but I mean, it's very plain. It's not a lot of texture. It's very, very minute. It's almost like a wood.
I think it is one of those ones that looks like it looks like a painted clapboard, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Right. If you had a cedar clapboard painted, it would have very little relief to it. It would be very flat in texture.
Right.
So Karen, the trim, what's the trim color going to be? Is it going to be,
White.
It's going to be white?
Yeah.
Okay. So white with barn red. Okay.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to do anything with the roof? Has the roof been repaired or replaced?
No, not yet.
Okay.
How about the front door, Karen? What are you doing? Anything to replace the front door?
Not at this time, but in the future, we would like to.
Okay.
Okay.
And do we know if the corner boards are going to be kept wide? I know sometimes when they do the vinyl siding, they just make the smallest corner boards they can do. Or can we preserve those corner
It's going to
boards?
be wide.
It's going to be wide?
Yeah, full size.
Good.
It's going to, like this, it's going to replicate what came off.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have any more questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Good.
I'm good. Sorry, I was taking notes. I'm good.
If you're ready for a motion, Susan, I'll give it a stab.
I am ready. Thank you.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve the application as submitted and as discussed here, to include the red vinyl siding based on the sample that Karen showed us on the screen, and that the trim boards will be replaced with same dimension material, but instead of wood, it will be solid PVC. And the trim is anticipated to be white, whereas the clapboard, the clapboard, the siding is intended to be red. I think that's
good. That's good.
Good.
So, I shall.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Second the motion. I'll second the motion.
Okay, so Virginia seconded. Thank you. I don't know if I'm supposed to say all in favor, say aye, or I'll just say now we have a roll call vote.
well.
Okay.
Actually, the more appropriate thing would be to ask if there's any discussion on the motion.
Okay.
Before we go for the vote.
All right. Is there any discussion on the motion before we go for a vote?
Nope, all set.
Oh, guess who's here?
Okay.
But you're not alone.
Oh, yeah. Somebody needs to be fed, apparently. Sorry.
Don't sneeze, Susan.
Oh, no, he just rubbed in my face. So we shall have a vote. Susan Prescott, aye.
Virginia Morris, aye.
Ellie Alessio, aye.
Glenn Koppelman, aye.
Madeline Willett, aye.
All right, then. The motion passes. Now, Karen, Virginia will take care of issuing your certificate of approval. Okay.
Okay.
And one thing that occurs to me that you might want to keep in mind is if you are going to replace your roof eventually, correct me if I'm wrong, board, if you replace it with the same exact materials, then it's considered a repair and not needing to come in for review, but if you're going to change the material, in other words, go from asphalt shingles to a metal roof or some other type of roof,
Slate.
slate, or a wood roof, you'd have to come in for a review for that as well.
I
Okay.
do have a question. If I was to do like eventually the front door, do I also need to get that approved as well? A door, or because I think that was a question if I was replacing my door. Do I need to get an application for a door?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Okay.
I think it would depend on the nature of the replacement. If it was replacing it pretty much as it is with something pretty much the same,
Yeah.
just like Susan was describing with the roof, it probably falls into the repair maintenance category. But if you were going to be changing the particular style in a significant way, you might want to get that reviewed.
Okay.
Karen, when I make out the certificate of approval, what's your mailing address?
It's 3 Chase Street.
You get it right there
I do.
at your house?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll just pedal by your mailbox.
I know.
No, I don't think I'm allowed to put things in your mailbox. But anyway, okay. So
Thanks, Virginia.
your physical address is your mailing address.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Karen.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank
Bye.
you. You
Good
too.
luck.
Night.
Bye-bye.
All right. Now, moving right along at 10 minutes of 8, we have Jerry Carboni. So, Jerry, can you hear us?
You're still muted?
We have to unmute your wife's phone.
I don't know why he doesn't have voice on his computer,
I
but
don't know. I talked with him today. He said that he just can't get it to work with the audio and the video at the same time.
So
I'm-
all of it.
Virginia, do you have a way of unmuting them?
Yes. So I'm looking
The 978
for
number?
that, and in 712.
The 978 number?
Yes. Got it. Nah, I didn't do it. Ask to unmute. Yes.
There
There
you
we
go.
go.
You got it.
We're unmuted. Okay, can you hear
Well,
me?
Unmuted.
Can hear
Did
you.
I do
Can
it?
hear you,
All right.
Jerry. Yes.
There we go.
We can hear you.
Okay.
So Jerry started
Hi.
off. Hi, Jerry. Oh, Jerry, why
Hi.
don't you talk? Why don't you say whatever you want to say?
Okay, I finally purchased the property at 129 Main Street from Bob Porthier a couple of weeks ago. And I was at the board last year with some preliminary designs for a colonial house on that corner.
Mhm.
And I've submitted 3 designs that I like that I wanted to give to the board to see what they could thought of the 3 designs. At last year's meeting, the board wanted the front door to face Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
And in facing Main Street, it's a narrow lot. It's 112 feet across the front. So we try to pick a house that would fit the lot, a narrow house. And the ones I picked are around 40 feet, 44 feet wide max. And those are the 3 that I've submitted to the board. We want to keep around 2,500 square feet. And I've also submitted the approved septic design. It was approved a month or so ago by the state. And it shows approximately where the house would go on that septic plan. So we've got 3 colonial designs that we could put there very easily. And we planned on having the garage facing the house to the left because of the driveway would be further away from the intersection of Scotland Road and Main Street for safety reasons. So I've got 3 2-story, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath houses that we propose to, one of which we propose to build. And would like your opinion.
So thanks, Jerry. So does
Okay.
now Ellie, this afternoon you got something from Susan Eyre, I think.
I'm on my iPad mini, and I'm
Okay.
looking at them now. I went
Okay.
and got I can't do mail from here and keep the Zoom screen clean.
Okay.
So I pulled up my mini, and now I'm looking at the drawings, and I'm all set.
Okay. And I have, Susan Eyre was not able to scan the site plan. So I have that physically here in my kitchen. So, and I looked at it, looks good the way that you have the driveway proposed and the house situated on the lot. So what Jerry's looking for is not a review so much as he wants our input for what we feel like would be a nice design for that lot. Okay.
Okay.
I think a year ago, we were talking about having the driveway come in off Main Street, and because it was such a tight lot, we went around and around, and we ended up having it come off of Scotland Road, because any house design that has a pull-in garage just doesn't fit in with a historical property. You don't see houses in the historic district that have pull-in garages. They all have like either a separate garage off to the side, or you'd pull down further past the house to a separate outbuilding that would be the garage in the historic district. And especially this location, because it's right next to the 1686 house, we want to make sure that we pay close attention to what we approve on that lot. And
So
I think
Matt,
all three properties or suggestions today are coming straight in under the house. I don't know if you can see this. This was one of the suggestions we worked with last year.
Yeah.
And before that, we had worked with a colonial that we were talking about moving so that the garage would be to the back of the house. So we had worked a lot so you could fit a house on the front and then have the that is why we were talking about a driveway off the side, to allow you to fit a bigger house on the front of the lot. Just to sum up
Isn't
the last year's.
But the Battles house 2 houses down is a garage from Main Street, and it's attached to the house.
But it's separate. It's sort of separate from the house, Ellie. It's not part of the main structure. It's an attachment to the house, if you will.
Attachment.
Right.
I guess I never noticed, to be honest with you, on Main Street that they weren't part of the house.
Mm.
I will look tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'll support what Maddie said. I think that it's important to look at the structures that are surrounding this property, because one of the things we're supposed to look at is the relationship of the new building to the buildings in the area, and even though the district is a blend of various periods of time.
1686.
Okay, I'm hearing feedback from
Someone's
somebody. I
talking
don't-
in the background. Yep.
Anyway, even though the district is a mix and a blend of various periods of time and different styles, there is a general historic feel to the various structures in the district, and the way Maddie described it as with regard to structures and the ways of garages and so forth is I would support her discussion about that.
I'd like to say that I know what Ellie's talking about, the Battles, and actually there's one other house. He's come to us. We've worked with him. Used to be the hairdressing salon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
that had a garage appears to be part of the house as opposed to attached.
It was
Those are
vacant for
quite,
the Thornquist house.
Right.
Vacant for the Thornquist
yeah,
house.
yes. But those are ranch designs. Jerry, you keep using the term colonial. I don't see that. Actually, I think the 3 designs you gave us, I have one I like best, but I don't think any of them are considered colonial. Not that you have to put a colonial there. You can put a cape or a this or a that. There are lots of, as Glenn said, many styles in the historic district. But the last one, Ellie, that Maddie held up, there's quite a nice center front colonial in which the garage could be turned to the side to come out on the side street. What's the street by the 1686 house?
Scotland Road.
Scotland.
Right. Yes, to come out on the side, and now you have a nice center entry colonial house there. The houses that were presented here, they're not ranch, and often the ranch style had the garage attached, and they're not really colonial. I've looked up all the styles of houses that we have in our historic district that are listed in the past survey. It's not really a stick house. It's not really a cottage. So it's very nice, but it doesn't seem to fit in our historic district. So there's that one thing. And while I'm talking, I want to ask Jerry a question. Several times you've asked us, Jerry, if you could have a duplex or put an ADU in your house. Are you still considering that in the design of your house?
We've designed the septic for a 6-bedroom, which will include a 4-bedroom plus an ADU if somebody buys it and wants to put an ADU attached to the house. And Madeline mentioned that straight colonial, which I like a lot. It's too big for the lot. If you can't have the straight colonial with a garage attached to it and fit that's the one. I like that a lot. It's not going to fit. You need the garage removed from that particular position and put so it can enter from Scotland Road.
Yep.
I didn't investigate those designs. The company I'm dealing with, they have a lot of designs, and it's possible to put the garage so it enters from Scotland Road. That's probably not a problem. And I like the straight colonial design. It's a typical one you see on Main Street. They're everywhere. So if you're going to deny me about the garage coming off Main Street, they do have designs where the garage will look like part of the house, but you have to enter the garage from another spot, and there's no room on that side. There's an abutter there. If you had a wide lot, you could put the garage, but it looks like a part of the house, and you come in the other way. That would, eliminate the garage doors, but that lot's not going to suffice for that type. We would have to come up with another design with a garage coming off of Scotland Road.
Jerry, I'm looking at. Sorry, Jerry, I'm looking at your plan though, and to put the garage behind the house, you would have to move your leach field and stuff. Is that going to be a problem? Because you've got.
Well, it's going to be reapproved by the state, yes.
Okay.
Or
That
you
was
could just
designed
move it forward. Move the house forward. You've got plenty of room in the historic district with leeway on how far you set it back.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true, because you would be eliminating your driveway in front. I wish I could show you this, but it's pretty big. So
one thing in the septic design, you've got to take into consideration well radius from the surrounding properties.
Yeah.
That's why the design was put exactly where it is.
Right.
You draw a 100-foot well radius from the wells in the area, you're limited to where you can put the septic system.
Right.
So that was designed that way.
Yeah,
So
I totally think you can move that house forward.
Yeah, we could do that.
Well, and that
And-
actually, that's probably more consistent with a lot of the properties on Main Street anyway. They tend to be a little closer to the road
Right.
Yeah,
as opposed to being set back.
yeah. I wanted to keep that cornerstone from the old tavern as a corner of the house, if it works, but it's not that important if I don't. And there's a granite post indicating the corner of, I think, where the tavern used to be a long time ago. But that granite post can be moved. It's
Right.
not that important. But I
was the
thought it'd be
Bad-
nice to have that cornerstone in the same spot.
That was the Badger Tavern, right, Jerry?
Yes, it was. There's quite a history with that tavern, and famous guys have gone through there, including, I think, Washington at one point. So it's got some history, and it would
Yeah.
go along with the property.
Yeah. I think that's why we all like the colonial too, because it looks so much like the Badger Tavern.
Yeah.
But the other thing I noticed, these are beautiful houses, but if you notice, this is like the beginning of a colonial, but then they've got a Greek pediment on the top of it. So it's kind of a mishmash. All three, they've taken different elements and they've created beautiful houses, but you can tell they're modern houses. They're not something you'd normally see in back in the old days.
No, you're right. Correct. They're modern designs,
Yeah.
and they're I think unique, and I think they look very good. They're putting a bunch of these up off of Marshall Road. There's a subdivision going in up there.
Yeah.
A lot of this company, Art Form Design out of Northampton, a lot of those houses up on Marshall Road they're models. They've got hundreds of different designs, but they're the same Art Form company models, and they look very nice if you go up there and take a look. But
They're beautiful.
I like a straight colonial, but we want to maintain about 2,500 square feet. With the Realtor, that's probably the price point we want to be at. We think that's a good size. We get 4 bedrooms, 2.5, 3 baths, and we want 2-car garage. We don't want to build a house with no garage. So if it has to come off of Scotland Road, I think there are designs that we could fit there that would fit where the septic is and fit in and work. But these are the 3 that I came up with originally.
So Jerry, with any of the ones you just recently gave us, or that colonial one that we're talking about, that Maddie held up, that is not a design that would accommodate a duplex. Is that correct?
No, I don't want to do duplex. We'll
Okay,
just do the straight single family 4-bedroom with a possibility of an ADU. That's how we designed the septic system, 6-bedroom. So
and I know that people who have existing homes need to do certain things to meet the components and the regulations for an ADU. Are there any design elements that you would need to add? I understand your septic, that you would need to add to this house if you were planning an ADU that you need to think about ahead of time?
I have, if the house is a little more forward, there's enough room to put an ADU there and still be far away from the septic system. That's the main thing right now, is where the septic is designed to be.
The ADU would be
And-
towards the back of the house?
Yes, yeah. I would leave that up to the purchaser of the property. But
Okay.
the septic is large enough for 6-bedroom, and then they could work with the town to see what they want to do, but the possibility is there.
Okay.
But I like that when the Madeline showed up, the straight colonial with a garage, it won't fit. If we could put that house sideways, if the septic wasn't where it is, then it would work. But I think facing Main Street for the main part of the house is probably the way to go.
Well, yeah, if you just put it like this and then had this off the back,
Yeah,
as a separate, just like a breezeway off the back.
yeah, yeah.
That
They
would
probably
fit.
have a design like that, Madeline. I'll look into it.
Okay.
They have a lot of designs, and they're not the only company either, but I've dealt with them quite a bit, and I'd like to get a house designed by them. They're local. They do local houses, and I know the designer down there, so.
Maddie, I don't happen to have that in front of me right now. Does that piece that you have of the colonial one, does that tell what the footage would be across the front? Jerry said he wanted to keep it like 144 feet. Does it say?
Let me see. It says 2,920 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 2-car garage. Let me see.
Jerry was saying he wanted to keep it to what, around 40 feet in width, Jerry?
Yeah, he said 44 was what he
Yeah,
wanted.
for that lot. Yeah. Any wider, it's too much for the frontage of the lot.
It looks like this house was 74 feet wide with the garage. So if you cut the garage off, you're probably right about there.
Well, yeah, you're
You're
probably
about
right.
50 feet.
Because the garage is probably about 20 to 24 feet.
Yeah, because it's a
Yeah.
2-car.
You're right. Yeah.
It doesn't say.
Okay,
This-
so
This was
that's
architectural
a
design.
possibility to keep within that framework of Main Street is
Right.
44 to 50 feet. Okay.
But I think the most important thing in whatever style you choose, it should be a just one style. We shouldn't see a Greek revival stuck on top of a colonial. It should be a pure style house, because that's what they would have
Yeah.
started with. Maybe with comments added onto the back, with a garage added, a barn or something, breezeway, but definitely a pure style to start with.
Yeah, I've noticed most of the houses on Main Street, they're either straight colonials or gable end facing the street.
Yes.
And then the garage might be out back. That's pretty much what you see there.
Yeah.
We
So,
had a new house. We haven't had brand new houses built very much, but we had a brand new house built several years ago. And they looked at the different features on the houses on Main Street and came up with what Maddie was just objecting to, and we all did. Take a feature from a colonial, a feature from a Greek revival, a feature from a cottage, and put it all together. You don't really have anything.
Yeah. And then you just ended up with a mishmash. I mean, those are beautiful houses. Oh, that's beautiful.
that's the same house. That's by the same company, Art Farm,
Yep.
but it's 62 feet wide, and the garage is facing Main Street. But it may be, they may have a model that faces, the garage can be shifted so it faces Scotland, but it's 62 feet total, which is just, it's wide for the lot. Called a butterscotch.
Yep.
Right, but
Nice house.
But that garage is easily 24 feet or so wide. So if you subtract that from the total 60, you're down to your 40 or so for the house.
Garage is 26 by 24.
There you go.
So you're down to 40 feet.
Yep.
So
Well,
the
if you
house,
take the garage up, but in order for them to, they could probably design that for me. They have stock plans, which you buy for like $1,500, $1,800. When you go into redesigning, that's when the things double and triple.
Yeah.
I want to use a stock plan if I could with minor changes,
Right.
because, you know, they get you. But I'll look to see what they have with the garage facing the opposite way.
Yeah.
well, it might cost a few extra bucks to have them modify a plan, but you're going to make a killing on this, Jerry. It'll be beautiful.
Yeah, you will.
We're gonna do a good job. It's gonna be a nice asset for Kingston. I can tell you that right now.
That's good.
But
I would look
all
forward.
right. Yeah, it's a nice property. It's got history, and there's a lot of land out back. But to get there, we need more easements. We couldn't get, because you got to get a fire truck. You need 60 feet to get a fire truck out there if it's a dwelling unit, and there's too many hurdles. So we figure we just put it out front, make it nice, and they can use the back land for whatever they want to use it for. But it's very nice land out there. So
Perfect selling feature.
yeah, it's a nice property. Really is.
Yep.
Nice soil, and it's flat, and it's a nice piece.
And it's
So
in a perfect location. It's in a beautiful location by 1686 house on the corner of the street there.
Yep.
And even though this is sort of a walkway to the back, there's ample land in the back for a horse pasture or a garden or whatever. It's a good selling feature for that piece of property.
Absolutely.
Might be tricky for
Oh, yeah.
building, good selling.
Yes.
correct. So
So go
the other-
into your companies and say, listen, it's gonna look like this, and the garage has to be perpendicular to the house. What you got? And see what they have.
I will. So all right. Thanks for your time. I'll take your comments under advisement and see what we can do for something that goes along with what you're talking about.
Excellent,
And,
Jerry.
Forward to it.
We have a little time because I don't plan on putting a foundation in December when it's 5 below. So I'm not planning on starting a building within the next month or so. So
Okay.
it might be a good spring project, but
Okay.
we'll get it right.
Hopefully, building supplies will go down in cost soon because they're way up there right now, from what I hear. So,
Yeah, they are, and they're hard to get too.
Mm.
A lot of materials you can get.
Yeah, the supply chain is really affected with all of this COVID stuff. It's and it has affected the price, but also the availability, as Jerry said. So it's tough.
No, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
well,
All
thanks
right. I'll get back
Thanks
to
for
the
working with
drawing board.
us. Thanks for working with us.
Thank you, Jerry.
Looking
No
forward to
problem.
it.
Good talking to you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you.
Jerry.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
That's why I appreciate you guys so much, because I'm looking at these going, oh, these are nice. Oh, these are nice. And then and then Madeline's like, what about the garage facing the street? I'm like, oh, that's right.
Well, and the designs are very nice.
They're beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but as we said, it's a blend of different designs. It's very very tasteful, very artful,
Very.
but not of a particular historic style.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So moving right along, I lost the agenda. Dang it.
Public comment is the next thing.
No, I added one thing in, which was Virginia.
HC
Oh, right.
Yeah.
meeting together.
Yep.
So even though I wasn't able to attend that meeting, I did send them the message that we would rather not have an extra date than
Yeah.
could we meet with them on one of our meeting dates? And could it be sometime when the busyness went away? That end of the fall and into the beginning of winter, everybody gets busy and wants to do their projects all of a sudden. And so we see all of this, and that after Christmas, it quiets down. So now I don't have the date in front of me. What did I say? January
12th, did you
12th.
say?
January 12th, whatever the second date, second Tuesday in January is.
And that is January 12th is the second date.
Yes. That they would, we'd have a joint meeting, and Ernie was going to send a note to you, Susan, to see if we could get together, either you or me or someone on the Heritage Commission, to put out an agenda. So we're just not there looking at each other, but we really have a plan of what we want to talk about. So I just told them, okay, I'll put that date out in front of the commission.
That sounds fine to me. Is that all right with everyone?
Yep,
Yep.
that's fine to me.
That's good.
Okay. So do you want to tell Ernie? I'd be happy to get together with him or with you, whoever. Okay.
Okay, so let me do that. I'll tell him that's a good date, and who does he want to meet with? Actually, Susan, I don't know whether I made these notes myself or we'd done it together. I can't remember, but I have a few notes about what we thought would be some good talking points for the two teams to work together. So I'll contact him and put that on the agenda, and there we go.
And if there,
Maybe-
sorry.
Maybe we'll get a chance to meet face to face by January. Who knows?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't bet on that one.
I'm not
Oh.
betting on it. No,
I'm not betting on it either, but
no.
Be lucky if it's
Maybe,
next
maybe this
June.
time next year.
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Agreed, agreed.
If there's anything that anyone in this committee wants to bring up, or if it occurs to anyone, what we'd like to talk to the HC about, or, if you have any ideas or projects you think we could work on, just, jot them down, send them in an email. Okay?
Yes. Yeah.
Or
what
think,
happened-
or what?
Oh, no, I was going to ask about the general store.
Oh, he postponed for a month.
Okay.
I reached out to him and said, are you, because I hadn't heard from him. I had written him a note after the meeting saying that the scope of work had changed quite a bit, and that we'd need a new scope of work before, either at or before the meeting. And I hadn't heard from him.
Okay.
So I reached out and he said that he had to postpone it.
Okay.
So that's,
Yeah,
that's where that stands.
That's a huge undertaking.
Yeah.
Those pictures, they hacked all of the repair work to that poor store. When you
Yeah.
look up close, it really is that particle board. It's
Yeah.
coming apart at the seams.
Yeah, it's
So
really
it's
a shame.
huge undertaking. It is a huge, like from the street, you think, oh, that's up there. But when you look close, it's terrible.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
It looked like a spring project also.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Spring and then some, Ellie.
yeah.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
But man, if they do it right, it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, it'd be
So,
awesome. It'd be about
Yeah.
time too.
yeah,
In a long time since that corner has looked nice.
Yes.
I
Well,
agree.
Although Heidi's done a fabulous job in decorating it.
Mhm.
I give her all kinds of kudos for what she's done to make that look good in that
They are
corner.
bustling. They're bustling
I'm
there.
very proud of
That's
her. She's
great.
done a nice
Yeah.
job. She's done a very nice job.
She
Yeah.
does a great Christmas. She has great Christmas decorations too.
know,
We were in there
I know.
last year and I bought a whole bunch of stuff because they're adorable.
Yeah.
It's hard to
So-
walk out empty-handed.
Sure is. And they did, she
she's
did it. Go ahead.
She's so good to put decorations on that
On the island.
island. Thank you.
Yeah.
The island, as you go from Main Street to West Main Street or whatever, she changes those depending on the season, and sometimes they're greenery for Christmas, but other times it's flowers that need to be watered on a regular basis, and they bloomed all summer, and they get flags for the 4th of July. It's really a wonderful gift to the community that she just does.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's doing a
Absolutely.
great job. So public comment. I don't
Can
think
I-
we have any public.
I have one more comment, please.
Okay.
I'm not the public. We need to look at our calendar. Generally, when we all, Planning Board and Heritage Commission and HDC meet face to face, Ellen Faulkner always asked to have the December meeting changed. In order to get their public meetings in the month of December and still have a good time for Christmas break, they always ask us to change. And so our December meeting is set for Wednesday, December 16th.
Okay.
There's no reason why we can't do that and stick with that.
Mhm.
Unless, Glenn, you think, is there any other change to the planning board agenda? Should we stick to the 16th as posted, or should we go back to a Tuesday? I suspect you'll be hauled away on that Tuesday, and we better stick to the 16th, which is a Wednesday.
Well, if we already planned on doing it on the Wednesday, the 16th, I would suggest.
Just
that we-
leave it?
Okay.
Okay.
As long as everybody is okay with it.
Okay, so just, even if you don't have your calendar in front of you, you always think second Tuesday, but this really is Wednesday, December 16th would be our next one. And then Susan, you and I can work on the calendar for 2021.
Yep.
And we do that in conjunction with Ellen Faulkner, who sometimes asks for special requests, but she's also right on top of it to remind me when's election, when's town meeting that might interfere with our meetings.
Mhm.
And so we'll work on that because next month, December, and then it's 2021. Hello.
That's right.
Christmas is a Friday. My goodness.
Yep.
Aye.
Friday. Okay.
Well, we thought winter was here, but then it went away. Hooray,
That's right.
hooray.
And it can stay away as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
Me too.
So if we have nothing else, I think we are done. So can we get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Susan Prescott says aye.
Ellie Alessio says aye.
Virginia Moore says aye.
Glenn?
Oh, I was going to let you go first. Madeline Willett says aye.
Koppelman, aye.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank
Oh,
you.
same to you all.
Too.
Same to you
We
all.
are
Thank you.
we are adjourned at 8:21 p.m. Good meeting. Thank you very much.
Good job.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Good
Susan.
all.
night, everybody.
Everyone stay
Bye,
safe.
Marissa.
Bye,
Bye.
Marissa.
Bye, Marissa.
Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
Marissa.
Thank
all
you.
night.
Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Good
Thanks,
night, Adam.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
John.
night.